What's up, Texas Rangers fans? Welcome back to another video on the Texas Rangers Report. And we have some news to go over regarding the Texas Rangers. Not the biggest news, but it's significant. First off, Josh Jung, the Rangers' #2 overall prospect now. He's been our #1 for 2-3 years, but he's the second overall now because Jack Leiter's the first. He's been turning it up in AA, and he got called up to AAA. Depending on when this video gets out, he's maybe played 1 or 2 AAA games. So that's significant. So he's one step closer to the big league level. I know earlier, before the season started, a lot of beat writers and a lot of fans said that he would probably reach the majors after the All-Star game. Well, the injury he had before the season may have pushed the timetable back to the start of the 2022 season, because we really don't need to rush him, and he doesn't even need to be added to the 40-man roster spot. So, I mean, maybe if he is crushing it down in AAA, then maybe, but then again, there's not really too much of a point to call him up this year if he's not raking. I mean, next year you will have to add him to the 40-man roster, so it would make more sense to call him up next year. But especially with the injury and him only being in AAA right now, I really don't think he gets called up this year. So don't get your hopes too high, but let's wish him the best in AAA because he was raking down in AA. And I'm pretty sure the person that replaced him in down in Frisco is Davis Wenzel. I think he's been injured for quite some time, and he was rehabbing down in Arizona, and now I think he just replaced Josh Jung in Frisco. And then some other notable news is that Nick Solak and Nick Snyder have gotten the call to the big league level. So Nick Solak, we all know, he's been on the active roster this year. He's already on the 40-man. However, Nick Snyder has made leaps and bounds this year. Nobody really knew who Nick Snyder was going into the year. Let's be honest about that. But everybody knew who Nick Solak was. He was the reason why Rougned Odor is on the Yankees, because we wanted to see what we really had in Nick Solak. And Nick Solak was doing pretty solid at the beginning of the season. However, he just hasn't played well at the major league level. He got sent down, and the Rangers have done this to a lot of their major leaguers in the past. I know they did this to Keone Kela. That was for more off the field issues. They did it to Odor to try to just get him back on track. And I mean, Nick Solak did some good things down in AAA. He hit over 300, on base over 400. So hopefully some of this can translate back to the big league level. And for Nick Snyder, I've talked about him in the most underrated players in the Rangers farm system. He was a 19th round draft pick back in 2017 out of JUCO, and he's already jumped to 4 different leagues this year. He started off at Hickory, then he made his way to AA, Frisco, and then AAA Round Rock, and now he's already at the major league level. I mean, they did have to add him to the 40-man roster at the end of the year, and he's been lighting it up with the fastball that touches 100, 101, and a wipeout slider. And he's just been carving up all of his competition at the minor league level. So it does make sense that they added him. But the reason why the Rangers had to make these moves is because Joe Barlow was put on the 10-day injured list, and Charlie Culberson was put on the COVID list. He doesn't have COVID. Well, he may have it, he may not, but he was feeling symptoms. So Nick Solak will replace Charlie Culberson, and Nick Snyder will replace Joe Barlow. And Joe Barlow has done amazing things for the Rangers out of the bullpen this year. Hopefully Nick Snyder can do similar things. Both late round draft picks, but not the most exciting video, but some notable things because Josh Jung's one step closer to the major league level. Nick Solak is back at the major leagues. Hopefully he can get back on track. And Joe Barlow, who was doing great things out of the bullpen, he got a few stints as the closer. He's injured, and Nick Snyder is in the big leagues. Oh, and it's one thing that we should note is that we had to create a 40-man roster spot for Nick Snyder, and the way we did this is that John King was actually moved from the 10-day injury list to the 60-day injury list. So that's a little worrisome because back when he was injured, everybody thought that he'd be back after the All-Star break, but it's one of those injuries where it kept on being delayed and delayed and delayed. Now he's on the 60-day injury list, and he might just be out for the entirety of the year. And John King showed good things out of the bullpen. They wanted to try him, stretch him back out as a starter because that's what he did in the minor leagues. I don't know if that's the sole cause of his injury, but it kind of sucks that he had to go on the 60-day injury list. But if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up down below and subscribe to the channel because I'm your #1 source for all things Rangers on YouTube. With that being said, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.